Hey, this is Chad with Drawn and Cornered. It is November 11th, 2021. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. And this is the news that you need for today. First off, the Kyle Rittenhouse trial is still in full swing. He took the stand yesterday to tell his side of the story, which is a little bit unusual, especially given that the prosecution did such a terrible job putting their case together. It seems putting him on the stand wasn't necessary and only really invites some issues. But it was done yesterday. Got into some really emotional testimony as he talked about his everything that led up to the killing of Rosenbaum, which was the first guy out there. And he got choked up, cried, apparently had a panic attack at the same time. Judge had to stop everybody, take like a 10-minute recess, calm down. But it was definitely something you could see that affected him. Now, there have been folks that said it was completely performance, that there were no real tears, that this is just him trying to get off. Maybe that's true, maybe not. I can't speak to his motivations or his intentions in there, but I can completely understand how relaying the events of that night could be deeply emotional and really troubling for anybody who's trying to recount them as accurately as possible. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't know if it's real or just faked and created over months and months of working on it, but it is what it is. We will probably see a verdict come out in the next few days here. I am hoping that they're smart enough not to do this before the weekend. Just like get this done on a Monday, get this done on a Tuesday, somewhere where people will unlikely be able to hit the streets in nearly as much force as they would on a Friday or a Saturday. That's not a good way to go. If in fact this goes the way that I believe it will, which is a not guilty verdict on almost all charges, maybe he gets a minor weapons charge, but we'll see. Again, as I said, doxing of jurors and videotaping and photographing of jurors and saying that they'll get theirs if they don't go the right way on this changes everything. I'm not certain how this verdict will go down. I'm certain about how I think it should go down, but not how it definitely will go down. So we'll see how that one goes. The other thing that we need to talk about is the continuing fall of deaths from COVID in the entire U.S. It's down 13% from the last 14 days. Our rolling average is always looking good. Essentially, since about September 12th, everything has been falling. Cases are up in various different areas, and that's moving around the country as people go back inside and the weather gets colder. You're seeing a lot of this in the Midwest, kind of the Western Midwest, your Dakotas and your Wyomings and Colorados and stuff like that. And up in your Northeast, again, as people start moving indoors, spending more time in confined spaces, you're going to see those cases rise all across the country. It's just going to be a pattern. It's going to be like the flu, like seasonal colds. You're going to see those patterns kind of mirror each other. But the good news is that deaths are going down. Now, Biden's going to try and take a victory lap on this because of the vaccine mandates, because of the immunizations for children, all of that. It's totally not true. It's just the ebb and flow that we've seen of this virus across the world, around the world, in every country. It's all happened like this every time we get a spike, a couple of months, drops. It's the way it's been working all along. So expect this to be a long-term, consistent issue that we have to deal with. The last story, which is going to be more and more important as we move forward, especially with the Build Better Act, is the blowback that Republicans who voted for the infrastructure deal are getting. Now, infrastructure on its own is probably not a bad thing. It's something we need. Generally, it's handled by states instead of the federal government, but fine, whatever. The problem is that in this infrastructure bill, only about 10% of it goes to what we would traditionally qualify as infrastructure. And Republicans voted for that, which allowed the progressive Democrats to not vote for it. If those Republicans had pulled out and not done that, one, the Democrats wouldn't have had the vote, but it would also ensure that the progressive Democrats had to put forward a reasonable stance as to why they weren't going to vote for it or why they would kill that bill. The Republicans let Nancy Pelosi off the hook. She didn't have the votes to make this happen. They let this entire bill, they let Joe Biden get a win where he doesn't deserve one and didn't deserve one for this bill. It's extraordinarily blown out. There was no reason to do it. There's no positive behind it. The infrastructure bill is not going to benefit people broadly. It's all to Democratic donors and to Democratic causes. And even the 10% that's going out there is not going to have a real impact in the world. And it's kind of just ridiculous spending on top of already very ridiculous spending. It's going to continue to blow out inflation. all the issues that go along with it. There is no net gain to it. And that's why there should be significant blowback for those Republicans who did vote for it, because nothing about this says that you should have been voting for it. At best, it should have been a no with, hey, we need to rework this and get more infrastructure in it, or parse it down significantly so that it is only infrastructure. Nobody should have been voting for this bill on the conservative side, recognizing where we're at financially in this country. It just should not have happened. It's a major detriment. And on top of all the ancillary things that I just mentioned, every one of these guys should be, and women should be hammered for this. And they likely will be, at least by Republicans. This will be a vote that goes against them significantly. Coming up, as I said, we will have the close of the Rittenhouse trial. We will have more debate about the Build Back Better plan and whether or not that happens. The close of the climate summit in Glasgow is coming. If you listen to this, it's just astounding. All of these things that have come out saying we're doing these, and certain countries are underreporting, and we're committing to these levels of reduction and going carbon neutral and all of this stuff. And the leader of the whole thing said, unless we get real teeth behind this, all of this is kind of meaningless, which is what many people on the conservative side say all the time, that there's just no teeth to this. So it's just people coming forward, placating each other, patting each other on the back, saying, hey, we're gonna do a really great job doing this. Okay, well, put your money where your mouth is. No, we're not gonna do that. And you could see that in years past with $100 billion suggested for each country to give to developing countries to help them develop in the proper way. Wasn't done. It's just, there is nothing to this other than glad handing and a bunch of people on private jets flying in and telling us that we're bad because we eat too much meat or we're not driving electric cars enough. It's just asinine to the nth degree, and it's almost over, at least. So this is Chad with Drawn and Cornered. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this sort of thing with just a little bit of news and analysis for your day so you get the news stories you actually need, subscribe down below, hit that bell so you get notifications as we release each one of these videos, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I will see you on the weekends if there's anything big breaking. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow.